In this video, we're going to find A inverse using ERO, which stand for Elimination Row Operation. So, in order to find A inverse, we will need an matrix. So, let's try to find a matrix. Let's say there is matrix A, which in it will be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So, in order to use this metric, this is metric A, so we need to change it into its own identity, which is 1, 0. This is the identity. In order to find the A inverse, we need to change this matrix into identity, while this we're gonna change it into A inverse. So, in using ERO, there is a couple steps. The first step is fix row 1, which means we're not gonna change row 1, we're gonna just stay it as it were. For example, we have A, B, C in the row 1. So in this step, we will not change ABC, but we will change row 2 and row 3. So let's start with row 1. Let's start with row 2. So in order to change row 2, you need to put row 2 and row 1, and then you're gonna choose the element at matrix A, 2, 1, which stand for row 1, column 1. Sorry, row 2, column 1. And also choose an element from row 1, column 1. So let's just put this thing as an example. This is A. Let's just imagine the element here is D. So as I said, we're gonna choose an element from row 2, element 1, which is now is our D. So we just put D, and then this is the element at row 1, column 1, which is A. Just put A, and then we just cross multiply it, and then we should put negative. So it will leave you something like this: A R2 minus D R1. You will get something like this. Don't worry if you don't understand here, I will show you an example how to do it just after this clip. So bear with me. So there are also row 2, which you get. This is for row 2, and also we can change row 3. Row 3 goes almost the same, but this time we're gonna change R3 and R1, and we're gonna choose an element from row 3, column 1, and this stay the same, but this stay the same is row 1, 1. So let's just put C over here. That's gonna be our element at row 3, column 1, which is C, and here it's gonna be the same, it's gonna be A. So it goes the same, just cross multiply it and put negative in it. We should get something like A R3 and C minus CR1 with something like that. So what we do after this is just pretty simple. You just put the number, for example, the element in the row. So for example, this is row 2, we just choose the element from row 2. If we choose the element from this row, like row 2, we choose element from the first column, make sure for row 1 we choose the same column, and it goes until the end, until the inverse, end of the inverse. So for row 3 it also goes the same. You just pick the element from row 3 and also element from row 1. It's go the same. If you choose one column, stay with the column, don't change into other column. Just if you choose C, make sure you choose A for the R1. If you choose R3 as C, then if you choose something like F here, just choose B as your R1. So that's it for step 1. So for step 2, it's gonna be fix row 2, which goes the same. We're not gonna change row 2, we're gonna change row 1 and row 3. This time we're gonna put row 1, row 2, and put the element at the element also gonna change, which now it's gonna be row 1 element at columns 2, and it's gonna be at row 2 elements at columns 2 also. So let's create a matrix, for example. So let's just say this is A, this is B, this is C, and then D, E, F, and just dot right here. This is the matrix, for example. So as you can see, we're gonna choose an element from row 1 but column 2, so it's gonna be B. So just put B over here, and here is the dot. As you can see, the element for row 2 and column 2 is gonna be dot. So let's just put something like C. Let's just put alpha for dot. So it's gonna be alpha, and then just cross multiply it and put negative in it. It should create something like alpha R1 minus BR2. So the R1 and R2 goes the same as step 1. If you choose, for example, A for your R1, make sure your R2 gonna be the same element from the same column but in row 2. For example, this is dot, so you can choose dot if it's A. Let's just it's gonna be easier if you put something here. Let's just say this is I. So if you choose A for your R1, make sure your R2 is gonna be I. So let's go to row 3. Oh yeah, and make sure also you're gonna do this for all of these elements. It's good the same for row 1. I forget to say this before, but it's good the same. So it goes the same here also. You're gonna go row 3, column 2, row 2, element at row 2, column 2. So here is, if you see, it's already alpha, but now here there's nothing, so we're gonna put something here. We're just gonna put it as Zach. So just Zach goes the same, put negative, and yes, that should be it. Yeah, you will get something like R3 minus Zach R2. So it goes the same, just put it, and after you get the answer, you're gonna change whatever in the first row, such as this is row 3. If you choose here as your row 3, make sure you change this answer and not change this, because as I said before, we're gonna make sure this thing is fixed. The row 2 is fixed for this step, so make sure it's not changed. So for step 3, we're gonna fix row 3. Which means it's go the same. Row 3 is not gonna change, so it goes something like this. So we're gonna change R1 first, which is row 1, and then we put row 3, and we choose an element from A, row 1, column 3, and this is from A, row 3, column 3. So just multiply and put negative. And for row 2, for changing row 2, we're going to put row 2 and row 3, and then choose the element from A, matrix A at row 2, column 3, and at row 3, column 3, and multiply and put negative in between. So as you can see, it goes the same as before, but this time the element just changed. This time we choose from column 3. So let's just put a matrix. So this matrix just for a reference, it's not a real matrix. That's why it doesn't change from the step before. So this just for reference. So just put dot 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 dot. You're just gonna put dot. So it goes the same when you choose. So let's just put a. So let's just put A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So let's just put that there. So when we choose this element, it's gonna be row 1, column 3, which is gonna be C. So just C there, and then here is element at row 3, column 3, which I, just put I. So it's gonna be I R1 minus C R3. So when you choose as before, if you choose R1 as A, make sure your R3 is gonna be G because it is in the same column. You do this until the end, and make sure for this we fix row 3, so whenever you get the answer, it's gonna go into the row 1 because we fix row 3. And for this one, it goes the same. Just find the element, put it there, and then cross multiply it, and then choose whatever at row 2 you want. So we're gonna do this from here until the end, and make sure you choose the same column for the row 3. So that's it for step 3. Now let's go to the question again. So this is gonna be step 4. Step 4 is when you get something like this. You get 0, and then random numbers just C here, and then just random number over here. So this step we want to make sure this will be 1 since we want to this one is 3 becomes 1 plus we want to change it, right? So what in order to do that, what we do is we just divide all of these by the numbers that is here, the element here. So for example, this is A, we just get divided by A. It goes the same for here, you can divide it by B since O2 is B. So this one is C, so we just get divided. This one is C. So for example, this is A, when we divide it by A, we should get 1. So it just goes the same. So that's all for step 4. We're gonna go ahead and check the question. After step 4, you have done all the steps. Now you should get something like 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and a random bunch of numbers over here. And now this is your I, while this is your matrix A. So we're gonna check back to the question whether we get this right or not. So let's proceed to the question.